Okay, Jake said he'd cover you today, and you'd work a double shift day after tomorrow, right?
Yes.
That leaves you.
Oh, I'm gonna cover for Joe.
Okay, now none of this is official until Dr. May signs off on it, so don't scream at me if she balks. Everyone's still kind of freaked out over the murder, not to mention Tony Jones' shooting. Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, Matt, you're not going to Devlin's service?
Somebody's got to take care of the patients. I'm gonna give Julie condolences later, but...
You aren't gonna believe this. You know the pharmaceutical company that Devlin's been dealing with?
Yeah, what about him?
Yeah, well, I just got off the phone with them. Now that he's dead, I got him to deal with us.
That's fantastic!
Oh.
I mean, that's not fantastic. Jeez,
It's okay. We know what you meant.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, who says there's no justice in this world?
It's pretty cold, Jake.
Yeah, at least it's honest. Come on, with the exception of Julie, which of us is sorry he's dead?
Well, I'm not glad that he's gone. Guy was a great surgeon.
Yeah, well, that doesn't give any excuse for the rotten things that he did. I mean, he trashed most of us in our evaluations, and for reasons that had nothing to do with our medical skills.
Jake, being murdered isn't exactly fair payback for giving bad evaluations.
He beat up Eve, and he stole our research.
Still doesn't mean he deserved to be killed, Joe.
Come on, Devlin loved lording it over people. Somebody got tired of the treatment. I'm heading down to the lab. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, Devlin got what he asked for. I gotta go. I got a tonsillectomy.
You okay?
I didn't know Jake hated Devlin so much. I've never seen anyone so happy that someone's dead.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that he killed him.
I didn't say that.
All I know is whoever murdered Devlin read Dr. Collins' book. The killing is just too similar to general homicide to be a coincidence.
Great coffee, Kevin. Something tells me you didn't come all the way over here for good coffee. How's the book doing? Actually, the sales are up ever since...
Nothing like a good murder to boost sales.
That's because people are drawn to the sensational. Every checkout stand in the country proves that.
Is that why you wrote General Homicide?
No. No, I wrote it because I had time to fill.
And you filled it by imagining killing people you know?
The book is fiction.
Characters in your book sound an awful lot like a lot of individuals I know.
I based a lot of the characters in the book on real people. But that's only because they were so much fun to write about. I even modeled one of the victims after Lucy.
You took your own life into your hands with that one.
No kidding.
So what about that fake murder that was staged at General Hospital? What was that about?
That was my publisher. Now, that was done without my permission or even my knowledge.
How far do you think your publisher's willing to go?
Well, I don't think Devlin was killed to boost book sales, if that's where you're going. But I wouldn't rule out a copycat killer.
A thought did cross my mind. What about Devlin? Sounds like you hated his guts.
I had no personal animosity towards him. He saved my life.
In your book, the character based on Devlin gets stabbed in the heart. Sure sounds like you didn't like him a whole lot.
He gets stabbed in the heart because he's a cardiologist. It's poetic justice.
Just so I can wrap this up, where were you around the time the murder was committed?
At the hospital. I was looking for my father. He had some tests done there.
Where at the hospital, exactly?
All over the hospital. Like I said, I was looking for my father.
Is there anyone that can vouch for your whereabouts around the time that Devlin was killed?
Are you ready, Julie?
I couldn't get through this without you.
I will be with you the entire time.
Hi. Is there anything I can do for you?
No, I have everything.
We're on our way to the chapel. We'll be right behind you.
Okay.
Dr. Morgan, 5566. Dr. Cassandra Morgan, 5566.
I don't know how she puts one foot in front of the other.
Especially after all that she's been through with Devlin these last couple months. The guy put his daughter through the ringer.
You know, I hate to say this, but I think Jake was right about that man.
About what?
About how horrible he is. Devlin. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even go to his memorial service.
I despised the man.
Everybody knows it, and everybody's gonna think I'm a big hypocrite for showing up and pretending like I'm sorry the man's dead.
Well, you gotta go, so you're gonna have to just pretend.
It's eerie.
The fact that someone you know was murdered.
No, the fact that the person who committed the crime is someone we know, maybe even one of us.
One of the interns?
Yeah, why not?
I think Jake's attitude really got to you.
Yeah, it got to me. I'm not used to thinking of my friends in terms of having that kind of venom.
Sometimes you think you know your friends. I mean, I guess all of us have some little part that we keep hidden from everybody else.
Joe, I don't believe that you can know everything about somebody. But take you, for example. I mean, you are a hothead. But underneath that, you're a very gentle man. I mean, you would never stick a knife in somebody.
Except in the OR.
I'm serious.
All right. All right, let's think of who would be capable of murder. Chris?
Yes, he hated Devlin.
And with good reason.
There's always Jake.
And I've seen his temper. I mean, if I wasn't there that day to stop him from blowing Stanton's head off after Danielle died, nothing would have.
And don't forget...
I didn't like the guy any more than you did, but we gotta go to the service.
Why?
Because we have to show support for Julie. I'm her lawyer, you're her friend. If you don't go, Eve, you're gonna look suspicious.
Scott, I am not guilty.
I didn't say you were. I didn't say you were. I'm just saying that you might look guilty, and right now you don't want to show the slightest appearance of guilt.
Oh, I heard that Tony's condition is stable.
What a relief, my poor ex-husband. You know, that situation is pathetic.
Oh,
This is pathetic. Why don't you go find a car wreck on the interstate somewhere?
Dr. Collins, would you care to comment on the similarities between the deaths of Dr. Devlin and the character of Dr. Melvin in your book?
You realize this is a hospital hallway, not a paparazzi stakeout?
Dr. Devlin and Melvin were brilliant men despised by many.
I just said this isn't the time or the place to talk about this.
Come on, Doctor. Everybody knows you're here to get free publicity for your book.
No,
What?
pal. Everybody doesn't know that.
Well, how come you're here if it isn't to promote your book?
Because Dr. Devlin saved my life, you idiot.
Oh, so you immortalized him as a pompous womanizer?
All right,
Some
that's
thanks.
it. Now, you either get out of my face or I'm really going to give you something to write about, all right?
Pitiful bloodsuckers. Let's go. I'm going to call security.
Just doing my job.
That's just lovely. Vultures looking for roadkill.
Oh, is there any way to refer to the gentleman of the press?
You're right. I should apologize. To the real carrion eaters.
Well, you know, it's every reporter's dream. You got sex. You got a doctor. You got an intern.
Thanks for bringing that up.
And you got violence. 10, right through the heart, huh?
That is so bizarre. Why do you think the murderer used a fountain pen?
I don't know, and I don't know what this whole tie-in with Kevin's book is, but it's a whole sensational story here. Come on.
Dr. Lambert, would you care to comment on the sexual harassment suit? According to the records, you had an affair with Dr. Devlin?
Ow, buzz off, you scribbler.
Would you care to comment on the murder?
My heart goes out to the family.
It's time to start. But if you'd like, we can wait a little longer for some of the late arrivals.
Thank you. I'd like to wait. You think I should tell her to start? My father didn't have a lot of friends.
A lot of the staff couldn't come because of scheduling conflicts and that thing with Dr. Jones. But I checked the condolence book, and my mom came and signed it earlier, so did the Quartermains, Dr. Boardman, Dr. May, and a lot of nurses.
That's kind of them. Makes me feel a little better. Thank you.
Excuse me. Will Mrs. Devlin be attending?
No. My mother's overseas. I haven't even been able to reach her.
Hey, Julie.
Hey.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you, Chris.
If there's anything I can do to help you, anything at all, you let me know.
I will.
Pretty weird, isn't it? Everybody here with their fake sad faces.
That's very weird.
Hey, found your bracelet, huh?
Yeah, I did. You know, it was in my coat pocket the whole time.
You must be so relieved. Excuse me.
What was that about?
Chris, you never know.
Do you think he knows that I found your bracelet next to Devlin's dead body?
God, I hope not.